everybody to another episode of another bourbon show. Tonight we are going to be drinking this one right here, Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare is from Buffalo Trace. It's 90 proof, 45% alcohol. It's from Buffalo Trace Mash Bill 1, which is the same mash bill that E.H. Taylor is from. Same thing that Bland's is mash bill 2.
Bland's is 2.
What else is mash bill 1? Stag Jr. is
Yep.
George T. Stagg and Stagg Jr. are both mash bill 1. They're low rye. So we're looking at probably about 80% corn, 10%-ish rye, 10%-ish barley, something like that. Eagle Rare it's good bourbon. It's, in my opinion, well, I'll get to that in a little bit. Interesting thing about Eagle Rare is that up until 2 years ago, it was a single barrel bottle. So every bottle came from the same, only one barrel's worth of bourbon went into each bottle. The only reason that changed is because they upgraded their technology. So even to this day, almost every single bottle comes from the same, is single barrel. But they can't technically label it as a single barrel because the first bottle and the last bottle might have stuff from different barrels. So they can't claim that. But it is aged 10 years minimum. And Steven, what do you think of that label?
This one's a really complicated one. I was thinking about this one for a long time. I think that overall, to me, it kind of looks like a gas station whiskey. You know what I mean? In a sort of a bad way. It just looks like a middle of America gas. Like this could be the gas station's brand, Eagle Rare gas station or something. I think a lot of what does it, besides the overall Eagle aesthetic, is the font. I don't really like the very sort of flamboyant script. But I do like the fact that it's just etched on the glass. I think this is maybe more common in wine typically, but it's just etching on glass. It all looks very clean. So the label's almost the entire bottle in a way.
Yeah.
And then I do like how clean it is. There's no nonsense on it. I've given a lot of flack to some of the other whiskeys because they've had so much on the label, but here you basically just got the name, kind of tells you what this liquid is. And then down here, besides the Eagle, of course, it just has, the alcohol by volume, and that's it. So although I don't really like the font, I do like how the label just kind of fits in with the overall bottle. It gets in, gets out. It's a no bullshit bottle, and the label reflects that. So I think that even though I don't like it that much, I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
Because I still don't think it's higher than a 5. But I'm not going to put it down with the labels like we had on the last show, though. So.
Okay. So do you remember what the highest rated label we've had so far?
I feel like I've only given a 6 or 7 as the highest, maybe a 6. I feel like I've been pretty tough on the labels so
you're
far.
Kind of a dick.
But there are labels out there.
My brother said that today.
We'll get to them.
My brother's tell Steven to quit being so uppity with the labels.
We'll get to them, but
the one thing I do have to say, I've been waiting for the right time to say it, and it's still not the right time, but I'm just going to go ahead and fucking say it now, is that a lot of times you give a hard time about how much information, there's too much print. Oh, there's too much print. One thing that I don't think you realize is that because it's whiskey, and specifically almost everything we've drank has been actually bourbon, there are legal, they legally have to put 90% of the stuff that is on a label that you hate, they legally have to put it on there. It just so happens that with this one, they put it on the back.
Right. So that's my criticism, I guess, overall.
And you still only give it a 4 out of 10.
I love that point.
You're asking for the impossible.
That's why they get a 4. But I'm telling you, there's whiskey out there that I like the label of. We will get to them. But I'm not going to be swayed. I'm not going to be pressured into this. I'm not going to be pressured into giving better. I will say, though, I regret every day that I didn't give Smoke Wagon a better rating in both ways. I wish I
Every
gave it.
day.
Oh, every single day. It's one of my big ones. My big regrets. I wish I gave it higher on the taste and the overall bottle. I take back that whole episode of ratings pretty much.
Yeah. And you know what? It's karma. That's the reason you haven't been able to find a bottle.
That's not the reason.
No, that's the reason.
Okay.
Because
All right. Well, then.
Ryan, you have a bottle of it?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, here
right
he
here.
had it. He didn't find another.
Yeah,
one.
but I could have bought 5 or 6 today. I'm seeing it in a lot of places right now.
Yep. I mean, I've got it back on my shelf. It's karma, Steven.
Yeah.
That's great, Dan.
That's what
Eagle Rare. I love this. Is one of my favorite bottles. I
The
love it.
design of it?
Yeah, it's just beautiful. I like everything about it. The colors, the silver and gray, reflecting with the brown with the bourbon.
I
think
do
the
like
Eagles-
that you can see through to like the black background too. I do like that as well.
Yeah,
Basically, even though it's
sticks
laser
out
etched on
on-
the front, it's sorry.
sticks out on a shelf like crazy.
Mhm. Yeah, I like that. Like even with mine, it's almost gone. Like they intentionally put the gray back here on the back so that even then the front of it pops. Yeah, I really actually thought you'd like this.
Yeah,
A bunch, Steven.
I thought this was gonna be your favorite.
Yeah, I don't like this one. It looks more like a wine label to me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't like hate it. I just don't feel like that strongly about it. I think that I do really like. I think that's underused, but I do like the silver up top. The foil's already gone off like the top of my cap, but I like the silver as well that extends all the way from the etching all the way up to the top.
Mhm.
There it is.
Oh, you just
I like the
opened
stars
yours
on the
tonight?
top.
You just opened yours up tonight, Ryan?
No, I opened it up a couple weeks ago. I had, for some reason, had this on the top still.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then when I opened it today, I took
Oh,
the top
okay.
off on it. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, Steven, where'd you get yours and how much did you pay? Do you remember?
Yeah, I got mine from the Royals in off Zumbel and St. Charles, and I paid. I think it was a little over 40. I think it was 43. At first, I told you it was 50, but it wasn't. I
Okay.
did the math wrong, and it was. Yeah, I think it was about 43 after tags.
I'm glad that you didn't pay 50 for it. I'll get to that. That's what I'll get to in a second. Ryan, do you remember what you paid?
Yeah, I paid $37.99 at my Mariano's Kroger brand grocery store.
Okay. I think I paid 37, 36, something like that. This one I'm pretty sure I got from the Glenmart BP in Glen Carbon, Illinois, but it could have come from Dean's too. I'm not sure. It definitely came from one of those two. But what I was going to say is, Steven, I'm glad to hear that you didn't pay 50 because paying 50 for it is not unheard of. It is. I wouldn't even say that it's uncommon at this point. That if you do see it at all, which is rare, if you see it, there's a good chance it's gonna be up in the $45 to $55, even $60 range. So I'm glad you didn't pay 50 because that's overpriced pretty significantly. But what do you say we have a sip?
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I think it's got a great smell to it.
Mm-hmm. It does. And it's got good legs, nice color to it. It's a good bourbon. It's a very good, highly, highly sought out.
Very hard to get, but I don't know anything about that.
Do I have to cut that out?
No, you keep that in.
How many cases of it do you have right now, Ryan?
47.
47.
47 cases.
Fuck the haters.
Actually, no, I got 45. I got one case for every percentage of alcohol it is. So
we got to leave that in, right?
yeah, we can leave that in.
For the listeners, for the listeners, if you didn't know, there was a little bit of a stink a few episodes ago, and Ryan got a call from his boss's boss. Is that right? Your boss's boss?
Yeah.
About some stuff that was said on the show. Somebody got mad and complained, and Ryan's boss and his boss's boss both laughed about it. And we won't go into more details because we don't want Steven to have to edit more than is necessary.
Hopefully that guy's not listening. We'll see.
Oh, fuck him if he is.
You know who you are.
It's probably that dick from Save On.
I've heard that we know you are too.
So anyway, one of the things that I want to say about Eagle Rare is that, yeah, it's a very good bourbon. It's a very good bourbon if you can get it for $40 or less. If you're paying more than $40 for it, then it's just, in my personal opinion, it's not worth that much money. There's better stuff out there for $40 that's much easier to find. Russell's Reserve, holy shit, to me, it is better than Eagle Rare. Russell's Reserve is super easy to find, and it's $33 to $35. So if you're paying more than $40, you're paying it because you like the label or you want that exclusivity that comes with how hard Eagle Rare is to get these days. And if that's what you want to do, then go ahead. I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm just going to say that I don't think it's worthwhile. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think that if it's available to you, I mean, if this was, regular retail price and readily available everywhere, this would definitely be one of those go-tos for a lot of people.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
A very, very solid whiskey. Because I think this gets into more of my overall thoughts about it. To me, this has, for at least at retail, about the amount of sipability that you guys talked about as like E.H. Taylor small batch.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like, it's on par with that, just in terms of like the easy sipping, because this is a 90 proof that to me drinks like an 80. Very easy sipping.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even having it with ice or water because it's just so smooth already, and you don't want to like lose it.
Yep.
So I think that it's an outstanding bourbon at that price point, but then once it becomes unavailable or second market price, it quickly just becomes an afterthought, kind of like what you're talking about. It's just like, I just think of all the alternatives that I would rather get, basically, at no fault of the whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. And, so Eagle Rare, I'm actually a little bit, Ryan, I'm a little bit surprised that you paid $37 for yours, because I have seen it and not seen it on a shelf, but known that I had the opportunity to buy a bottle as low as $34 per bottle. So Eagle Rare is one of those, there's a few bottles that I know, as far as pricing goes, a lot about. And I know that in Southern Illinois, a liquor store pays $30 per bottle for Eagle Rare in this area. So the places that have access to it, even at $34, they're still making a $4 per bottle profit. And they know that they can sell a case of it in a day. Like, it arrives and it's gone that same day, and make $4 per bottle. I mean, for a liquor store, that's great. You bring it in, get it out, right? Like, now only honest, respectable businesses are going to sell Eagle Rare for $34. But that's the reason I'm a little bit surprised, Ryan, that you paid $37 or almost $38 for it, because I do know that it can be found for less than that.
Yeah, a couple of my stores, I've seen it, $35.99,
yeah,
$36.99, I think is what Target retails it at. I just did it because out of convenience where I was at, at one of my stores, they had it on the shelf. I'm like, I'll just pick out the bottle here.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's one of the few good things about a corporate, grocery store or liquor type store is they'll sell it at its retail price.
Yeah.
They're not going to gouge their customers. You'll see some liquor store owners who, like, I've seen Blanton's up here at liquor stores for $110 when they're buying the bottle probably at $50. You know, same thing happens to Eagle Rare. I mean, not as to that extent what they're charging, but I'm sure places are charging sometimes 60, $70 for it.
There's a
Oh,
local liquor store I saw on Drizzly they are advertising that they have Blanton's for sale on Drizzly for $225 a bottle.
yeah. Yeah. And there are, like, if you go to my website and just scroll through, you'll see that it is not uncommon for Eagle Rare, even in this St. Louis area, I mean, to be on a shelf for $75. Like, I can think of 3 or 4 stores just off the top of my head where that's common. If they have it, it's up there for $75.
People are still buying it, so they get away with it.
People are still buying it. That's what drives me crazy, because the people who buy it at $75 are the reason why liquor stores have it on the shelf for $75, because they know that eventually somebody's going to buy it.
Right.
And anyway, so at $37 or $40, this is a phenomenal bourbon. Now, being the fact that, again, it's not technically a single barrel. However, it's as close to being a single barrel as you can possibly get. It's literally, they dump a barrel, they fill up bottles. When it's gone, they dump another barrel and start filling up bottles. So out of an entire line, you're going to have, like, the first bottle and the last bottle might be a mix of 2 different barrels. But all of them in between, they're pretty much all single barrels. Now, having said that, the positive is also the negative, that there are there are generally discrepancies from one bottle of Eagle Rare to the next. If the 3 of us were meeting live and we were each drinking side by side, if we tried each other's bottles, chances are extremely high that there would be differences from my bottle to Ryan's to Steven's. Having said that, the negative is that every now and then you get a bad bottle. It happens. And on the other hand, occasionally you get a bottle that is just absolutely fantastic. So that's some of the positives and the negatives about Eagle Rare. Now, Buffalo Trace, Sazerac, they do a great job of quality control. So you're not going to have giant variations, right? Like a distiller, a master, maybe not, Wheatley himself, but a really, really respected leader within the whiskey community. He or she is the one who walked up to a barrel and said, this one's ready to go be dumped as a Eagle Rare product. The same people that make the decisions about, the super complex decisions about which barrels to blend to make sure that E.H. Taylor small batch has a consistent taste from the 40 or 50 barrels that they're dumping that particular day, is the same specialist who decides that, yep, this one's ready to go as Eagle Rare. And the same one that would taste a barrel and say, oh, this one's been aging for 10 years, but this is not Eagle Rare quality. Send this over to the actual Buffalo Trace line or to the Benchmark line. Dump it in that swill. And I don't mean swill meaning Buffalo Trace is a bad product, but it's not on par with Eagle Rare or any of the other Mash Bill 1 bottles. But one of the neat things, again, is that this is still Mash Bill 1. So when you're walking around Buffalo Trace, you don't see a barrel labeled Eagle Rare. You don't see a barrel labeled E.H. Taylor. You see a barrel labeled Buffalo Trace Mash Bill number 1. And somebody makes the decision, is that Eagle Rare, or is it E.H. Taylor, or is it Stag? This is one of the oakiest bourbons in the $35 10-year age. I get a lot of oak. I get a lot of plum, actually. Like I get plum.
I was going to say cherry and pear, but plum's actually probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I could see cherry too, though. And this is one of those things that that week with Kenny, he was talking about, I do get leather. I taste leather in Eagle Rare.
Yeah, I actually get that too. And I've used the term before, but like a savory whiskey. I think this is like sort of a savory taste to me as well, which I get a lot from all the turkey products, which I'm sure we'll get into next week.
Yeah.
But I there's some sort of like almost like I think leather covers it well, but almost like a jerky quality or something like that with the finish.
Yep.
I definitely taste that too. I get a lot of pepper, real spicy to me on the back end on the finish. Maybe my bottle's a little different, but I get a lot of cherry notes in mine.
Yeah.
A lot
I
of
smell
cherry notes.
licorice on the nose. I get a like black licorice.
I mean, Eagle Rare it's not quite on par with Blanton's as far as like creating the hype surrounding whiskey and bourbon, but it's not too damn far behind, right? Like,
No.
like when you look at people's the things that people go ape shit about, it's Buffalo Trace Sazerac products, generally speaking. But I think that people go more ape shit over Eagle Rare than they do E.H. Taylor. And,
Oh yeah.
And I'm not sure why. I get that it's really good, but I don't know too many people who prefer Eagle Rare over E.H. Taylor. I don't think.
If you're gonna pay the same price, I think I would take E.H. Taylor pretty much every time. But it just depends too. I mean, I can see people thinking that this was more sippable or something than E.H. Taylor. Is this a higher proof?
No.
Or does he? No.
It's a lower
so
proof.
I think it's a toss up. It just depends on what you're looking for. Some people, maybe that's it. I mean, some people don't like going a much higher proof than 90. So
Yeah, it could be it. I could also see people who are like, if you start off in Scotch and come to bourbon, I think I could see people preferring Eagle Rare over E.H. Taylor. Because of that savoriness, because of that oakiness, because of some of those flavor profiles, it's closer to a Scotch type taste than E.H. Taylor is.
For sure.
It's not as sweet as E.H. Taylor, but anyway, it's good stuff. It's certainly good stuff. So that's Eagle Rare.
Ryan, I thought you were gonna move out. Why are you still in your mom's basement?
Well,
what's his name? Dylan threatened to like stop subscribing to us if you didn't move out.
Well, I think even after I move out, I might still film here because it's a pretty cool background. I'm not gonna have a bar like this, you know. I'm just not.
That's all your liquor. Why wouldn't you have a bar like that?
Well, I don't really have the money to have a bar like this, so maybe the next house.
Isn't there a Greek
build some equity?
Rent out and film at the Greek diner.
I'll figure it out. I might come here. I don't know. We'll see. But
it'd be funny if you just did an Airbnb every time at just somebody else's bar.
Yeah. That would be hilarious.
Just break into people's houses. Like, if somebody's on vacation, that's where you shoot that week.
I'm filming here. What football player was that? Chad Kelly, remember for the Broncos? He just walked into someone's house and sat on the couch naked. You remember that? I'll just do some of that. Drink a lot of bourbon and just wander. No, my wife moves back in a month, so there's hardly any furniture at the house with COVID right now. It's like a 3-4 month wait for furniture and appliances. So I have my old bedroom set.
Own furniture stores?
No, we're some of my family members did. They've all kind of gotten out of the business and sell furniture to stores.
Oh, okay.
Kind of involved. They're involved more in distribution, but a lot of companies aren't making furniture right now, or if they are, they have very limited people on the line just because of safety protocols. And then all the issues with China, stuff's just not coming over. Most furniture is made in China. So 3-4 month wait, appliances, the same thing. I have a bedroom set from my old place that is a queen, and I'm gonna have a king size bed in my master bedroom, but we'll just have to sleep on a queen. I don't know how we're gonna do it. Then I have an old sectional. We have a kitchen table. I mean, we got the bare minimum. We got the essentials, but
You
plus I don't
don't
want to
know
just
how you're
live
possibly
there.
going to sleep on a queen.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
mean,
don't.
sleeping like the poor people. That's what you're doing here.
I know exactly.
It's probably not even like 800 thread count sheets, right? Like,
I won't even be able to look at myself in the mirror every morning when I get out of the shower. I just like, what am I doing with my life?
I don't know how you do now.
You know,
Yeah, I'm queen right now. I don't know either.
one of the things I was going to say about you doing this Zoom is like, I realized recently that I think one of my favorite things about quarantine I've noticed is like seeing all these like celebrities doing different Zoom interviews and whatnot and getting to see the background of their homes while they're talking. Cause it's just like, oh, I guess Johnny Depp really does live just in a cave or whatever. And then like the other day I saw Rachel Ray, she was doing an interview and like talking about how like, you know, she tries to act like she's like, well, you know how it is whenever you're stressed out and you just don't want to make dinner that night. The kids are all running around. Meanwhile, she's got like personal chefs walking through the background of like her house. Like, you don't know what that's like.
Her house burnt down a couple months ago. Was it all ashes in the background?
Well, I tell you, she didn't cut down on fireplaces building the new one because there's like 3 different fireplaces behind her in every shot.
She didn't learn.
Like, how do you pay so much? Like, Rachel Ray, to me, I had to like think through who this bitch was, first of all. And like, Ryan, you off the bat, you're like, oh, her house burned down. Like, how do you stay up on that type of shit?
I love her show. Watch it every day.
Really?
No. It was
Okay.
on the news. I just retain all useless information.
Okay.
You know, couldn't tell you my birthday, but her house burnt down 2 months ago.
All right. Who's
I
the
hope she can afford a new one.
The fire
What'd she
mostly
tweet?
damaged the main house on the property. She might have to slum it up in one of her other houses on that property.
in the pool house?
that thing?
Yeah. She lost her phone posting through a team member. She can't respond to text at the moment. This is just a sly way. She doesn't want to hang out with somebody that night, and she made that part up.
The house just didn't burn down. It was just some elaborate media hoax.
Yeah, she's like, I do not want to go to fucking dinner with those people.
All right, upstate New York.
Hey,
Sorry.
wait a second, Steven. Is that why you claimed that you had COVID or fucking gallbladder explosion 2 weeks ago? You just didn't want to hang?
Yeah, I wanted to get myself out of this.
I can't blame you.
If I had multiple houses on my property, you could bet every Monday one would burn down if I had to hang out with you fuckers.
Ryan, do you get over to Peoria very often?
I've been to Peoria a million times.
Okay. They built a Schnucks in Peoria on Knoxville Ave, just like on the north side of Peoria. And that Schnucks is fucking baller.
Yeah.
Like, they have like a restaurant, like where people go on dates to Schnucks in the evening time. Like it's a killer Schnucks.
Mariano's is similar like that. Have you ever been to a Hy-Vee?
Yeah.
Hy-Vee's like that too, but now they're all Wahlburgers. They're not Hy-Vee grills anymore. They're all Wahlburgers. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how a bunch of dumb shits wear Hollister brand clothing? Is that still popular?
I don't know.
Okay.
No.
I'm not the authority on what's popular. I don't know if you know this, Dan.
You never worked, even. That's a good point.
Well, you two were just going on for like 5 minutes about your grocery store preferences, so I don't want to hear it, Dan. I don't want to hear
it. So when Hollister was big, it used to piss me off so much because people were like, all of these shirts were like, oh, Hollister Surf Club, blah, 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 blah. Hollister is nowhere fucking near the beach, right? Hollister is an absolute shithole. Hollister, like the one good thing from Hollister is they used to have a decent barbecue joint. Anyway.
When you first said it was going to date you after Ryan had said Robin Thicke, I thought you were going to make an Alan Thicke reference. I was going to be psyched.
Oh, no. I mean, I grew up watching Growing Pains.
Rest in peace.
But
Pour one out for Alan Thicke, right?
Just
he
did.
dead?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he died. He died
Yeah,
like
this
5,
is-
6 years ago.
Christ, you ruined my fucking night, guys.
Yeah, this is the
AIDS.
Alan Thicke Memorial Podcast now.
Alan, you were a good dad.
Alan,
To Alan Thicke.
your son sucks.
But you know what's worse than Alan Thicke's real son? His fake
What?
son, Kirk Cameron. That motherfucker.
I think he's a good guy. Great actor.
I just think that
the
sometimes
Left
these
Behind
child.
movies are great.
I was gonna say, well, fuck, that ruined my joke. I was gonna say sometimes these child actors just get left behind, but Ryan, fucking.
Sorry.
You know, last Christmas I had some friends here, and we were like watching bad Christmas movies, and we watched. He came out with a movie a few years ago called Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas, and like the whole premise
Religious
of the.
overtones throughout, right?
Oh yeah, I mean that's all it is, and it's basically like he invents these like scenarios, like these. It's almost like a dramatization of like a Christmas party with friends, and you can just tell you're just like, oh, Kirk Cameron, you were never invited to a Christmas party, were you? Because he like he just makes these like crazy scenarios where like somebody will just be talking about to somebody else in like a car outside the party about like virginity or something, and you're just like. And like, no, please, Michael, I will go inside right now, and I will give a present to Mary if you just tell me why exactly I should believe in the Christ child. You know, it's just like, what? And then he sets himself up for like all of these like home runs. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, well, checkmate, atheist. You know, it's terrible.
He seemed like such a cool dude too, didn't he? Like in Growing Pains, and then
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like if you would have told me in 1988 or whatever year Growing Pains was popular, if you would have told me that in his lifetime, the little orphan kid would get more pussy than Kirk Cameron, I'd have called you a goddamn liar. I'd have said you are so full of shit. Kirk Cameron has got to be slaying pussy. But do you know the kid I'm talking about, the little orphan kid from the show?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay? Man, would I have been wrong.
Well, you know, Scott Baio sucks too. It seems like all these people who were like cool, besides Henry Winkler, every like cool guy on TV just sucked shit when they got older.
My biggest crush back then was
Kirstie
Nicole
Alley.
Eggert. Who did you say?
It's a Kirstie Alley.
Oh God, no, no. So
We gotta have Dustin
People in their
Diamond's contact info, don't we?
Do you?
We're one degree. Both Dan and I are 1 degree separation from somebody who definitely has Dustin Diamond's cell phone number.
oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
know that's true.
Absolutely, we are. Speaking of Tiffany Amber Thiessen, there you go.
So we're 2 degrees. We're 2 degrees from Tiffany.
Yeah.
Okay. However, we are 2 degrees from somebody who probably has Tiffany Amber Thiessen's cell phone number, but we are much further than that from somebody who she would reply to or answer their phone call. Because she ain't answering a call from Dustin Diamond.
I don't know, man. You see his porn video? It was pretty good.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, is he in jail right now, like for stabbing a dude, or no?
I mean, he's got to be like on crystal meth or something, right? There's something going on. Screech. Can you imagine growing up as Screech, though?
Do you guys remember when he boxed Danny Bonaducci?
No.
Did he get his ass kicked?
I can't remember who fucking won. I think he did. I think Danny Bonaducci won, but I just feel like that's what America needs now. Like more than ever. I feel like we need Dustin Diamond fighting Danny Bonaducci again. Round 2.
Okay, listeners, listen up. We're going to start a GoFundMe. And if we raise enough money, we will have Dustin Diamond. We will have fucking Screech on our show. There will be a link below. There will be a link in YouTube and on Facebook, Twitter, fucking everywhere. We will have links goddamn everywhere to try to get Dustin Diamond on our show, and he can pick the whiskey. I want Screech, man.
I know.
I feel like Dan and I already know a guy who has all their numbers anyway.
You know
and
who
that's why
I'm
Yeah.
thinking of somebody who booked him previously.
yeah,
Like
so am
we've
I.
actually paid him money before.
Same.
So okay.
Same.
Okay.
We're thinking of the same guy. And I think that on top of that, I think the week after Dustin Diamond comes on, I would self-fund Kevin Farley joining us on the
Like Kevin Farley is actually a good dude.
I didn't say he wasn't. I just
I
said,
know.
He's probably got some good stories too.
Well, if you ever go see him, that's what you'll hear. So
Yeah. I told you about that. My dad's like, "Hey, you're Chris Farley's brother." He's like,
I
"Yeah."
haven't heard this, I don't think.
What'd you say?
I don't think I've heard this.
He was at, my dad went to like UFC, whatever, in Vegas, like probably 10, 12 years ago. I think Everlast was to my dad's left. Few other people were there. I think Vince Vaughn was there. And then a couple rows down, it was David Spade and Kevin Farley. And everyone's going like, "Hey, Spade, Spade." There's, I think, some other SNL guy there. And my dad's like, "Kevin Farley?" And he's like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, that's me. That's me." I think my dad took a picture with him, but getting no attention from everybody else. And it's like, Kevin Farley, right? Chris's brother? Yeah. You want a picture? I think he asked my dad.
No
Dad's
shit.
like, yeah. I think he's like, "Yeah, I guess."
That's awesome.
Okay.
You ever
No,
think anybody goes to Chris Farley's grave and they're just like, I'm just paying my respects to Kevin Farley's brother?
Never once. That has never happened.
They look a lot alike, though, man. You don't think so? I mean, he's not as
somewhat.
fat, but
Somewhat. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Kevin's not nearly as fat as Chris was.
no. The face, though, I mean, you could tell
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
related.
You
why
can
he's
definitely
still
see they're
here.
brothers, that's for sure.
What's your favorite washed-up celebrity to keep up with still to this day?
I'm the wrong person to ask because like I don't pay attention to like that aspect of pop culture. Who's yours?
I don't know. I think
Andy Dick.
Andy
Andy
Dick's a
Dick?
good one.
Okay.
I was going to say Steven Seagal is always a fun one. Just because I feel like he kind of came out the gate washed up and like has only gotten progressively worse and just like and still like he still doesn't know he's washed up either, which
Yeah.
is like the great thing. Like that really makes it all. Like the fact that this dude who's like an elderly man at this point, super washed up, is still like basically doing these like jujitsu classes and stuff and like
Tempo.
okay, forgive me. And people are just like,
And I'm gonna throw out here the fact that like the man would still beat the shit out of the three of us together simultaneously.
I honestly don't know if that's true, and that's how
I
fucked up it
guarantee
is.
you that's true. I guarantee you that's true.
I feel
you
like
like-
time will get him.
Maybe. But today, whatever day people are listening to this, today, unless he dies in the next month, then we could take him. But like on this very day, he would beat the shit out of the three of us simultaneously without breaking a sweat. Watch no, I don't like this dude at
I
all.
got a box cutter.
His
So you
only
marry a
weakness.
Muslim and suddenly you carry a box cutter everywhere
I
you go.
need it for work.
Oh, okay. Sure you do. I'm
Good
sorry.
9/11 joke.
I'm sorry, Martin. I love you.
She's not listening.
Okay, good. No, but I forget his name. Who's the guy?
I like how hold on. I like how quickly like we've indulged at like Dustin Diamond, Kevin Farley, whatever that girl's name was, would be listening to this. But the minute Ryan's wife gets brought up, it's like, she won't be listening.
Here's the difference. Except for choosing Ryan, she has good taste, right?
That's true.
That's the difference here.
I could
What?
beat Steven Seagal's ass.
You think we could?
Here's a challenge to Steven Seagal if you're listening. I would kick your ass, old man. Fucking pull your ponytail like you're my bitch, you know? That's what I'd do.
And then you're gonna fuck his mouth.
Exactly.
I just really want Steven Seagal to beat the shit out of you.
He wouldn't. I'd
You know,
take it
a
back.
moment ago when I said that the world needed Danny Bonaducci and Screech, I take it back. They need Steven Seagal and Ryan Namath.
All right, listeners, there's going to be a GoFundMe down below. That's to get Steven Seagal and Ryan Namath to fight.
Yeah, we'll do the Dustin Diamond one later. That one's on hold.
Yeah, that one's on hold. Set that on the back burner. I think the world needs to see Ryan Namath and Steven Seagal fight.
I'll fly to Russia.
Does he live there, or is he just like?
Yeah, he's a citizen now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like good friends with Putin.
I knew that. By the way, that's another person who would beat the shit out of the three of us.
Oh yeah.
I will say though, pretty confidently, I think I could beat the shit out of Julian Assange.
Yeah.
It would be a good match. We would go however many rounds. We'd go multiple rounds.
I mean, I think you got the reach on, right? Like,
yeah.
How tall are you, Steven?
6'2", 6'1", 6'2", something like that.
Oh, I thought you were taller than that.
No.
Okay. He'll fight dirty though.
But
man.
I got a decent wingspan though.
Yeah.
Even so.
Okay.
He'll shit and smear shit on your face, dude. He's a crazy guy.
That's true. There is some like weird shit he might pull. This man has been exiled for a long time.
He lived in an embassy for a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he shit on the walls. He smeared his shit all over the walls.
Yeah, he might be nuts, right?
Yeah,
like,
I take it. He would eat my skin. I take it back.
Yeah.
That man, I'm talking about beating the shit out of the fourth estate.
So I guess I gotta claim that I could beat the shit out of somebody. Like Ryan thinks that he could fuck up Steven Seagal. Steven, you think you could fuck up Julian Assange. I think I'd beat the shit out of Betty White, right? Like, I don't think she stands a chance against me.
No fucking way.
What?
No, I mean, there's no way she would stand a chance. I'm fully in your corner.
Yeah.
You would wipe the floor with Betty White. It would be insane.
What about like Chuck Norris? He's like 83 now.
I bet I could fuck up Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris is old.
He is. And like I'm like out of fighting shape, but like I bet I could take Chuck Norris.
It's probably fun to beat up an old man too, right?
Is B. Arthur alive? I bet I could fuck her up.
I don't think she is.
I think she wasn't she on that roast of somebody? I remember Greg Giraldo making fun of her because Betty White was there, B. Arthur, and Farrah Fawcett.
I'm just thinking about the Golden Girls. Like, which ones of them could I fuck up?
Estelle Getty, present day, you definitely could.
She dead?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I got that. I'm solid on that. I could never fight one of the Golden Girls though. Like, I loved that show when I was a kid, and I still think it's hilarious. Those bitches were fun. They are great. I mean, I could beat up Rhea Perlman. I know that. Danny DeVito, I'd beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, you might have the reach on him. How tall are you, Dan?
I'm 5'10".
I'm just fucking with you. It's Danny DeVito.
You got a whole foot on him.
What do you say we go ahead and do our ratings? Steven, what do you think?
Kind of like I said earlier, I think that this is the whole key is if this is available to you or not.
If this is available to you at 37, well, we're not taking price into consideration for our ratings, though.
Right. I'm just saying availability.
Okay.
Assuming that you're paying around the price that's reasonable, which is around $40 some or less. If you're paying around that, if it's available to you, this is a no-brainer purchase. This is a really good whiskey. However, those things are typically not the case. So I just can't give it that high of a rating because it's just, there's so much else out there that it just feels like it's a good whiskey, but I'm okay with only having it occasionally, if that makes any sense. It's just, I'm not going to go seek it out as much as people seem to. But that said, it's still a great whiskey. I will think of fondly, and I'm going to give it a 7.1. I think it's a very fair score for it. I think it's a solid whiskey. It deserves to be in the sevens, in my opinion. But I'm not going to put it in the upper echelon sevens with something like a Smoke Wagon Small Batch. I don't think it should be as scarce as it is, but at the price point, I would buy it if it was readily available for retail.
So I have to ask real quick. So let's say you're at the liquor store and you see, remarkably, you in your pocket you've got $60. That's all the money you've got. $60 you don't have your debit card for whatever reason. And you see Eagle Rare. Yeah, I killed the bottle. You see Eagle Rare for $37. And you see a bottle of Smoke Wagon Small Batch for $50. Which do you buy?
I think I buy the Smoke Wagon. Or I mean, I know I buy the Smoke Wagon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The way you worded everything just a second ago, to me, made that like a pertinent question.
Yeah. I think I just really like the price point that they're going with Eagle Rare. I think that it fits so well in that about $40 range, and it's a phenomenal value. But I don't really think part of the reason why it's a ripoff whenever it gets to $70 is because it just doesn't match up with something in that range that we've had. I mean, even once it gets up to around 60, I would rather have Woodford Reserve Double Oaked or something like that. So I think that they've nailed the price for the quality and what you get. It's just a shame that it's not more available because it kind of feels weird to me to be forming relationships to try to get a bottle that's essentially like a $35 bottle. Not that you shouldn't do those things, but
yeah. I appreciate it, Stephen. Thanks for the clarification especially on the Eagle Rare for 37 versus Smoke Wagon for 50. What about you, Ryan?
I mean, I'm a sucker for the mash bill one. Higher rye bourbons aren't my favorite, as I've said before a few times.
Except
I like this one a lot.
Small Batch.
Except for, yeah, I think I gave that one like a 7.6. I'm going to rate this one higher at a 7.9. I like it. It's smooth. I like that savory aspect of it. A little spicy, but I really like that cherry note. I get a lot of vanilla too. A little caramel. It's good. I like it. 7.9. It's not quite an 8, but I like it more than Smoke Wagon.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm going to go against the grain here, and I'm going to rate it the lowest out of the three of us. I'm going to rate it a 6.5. My reasoning here is that although I do really like Eagle Rare a lot, I cannot help, and I'm really the one who argued for not taking price into consideration when it comes to ratings or availability into ratings. But I stand by my statement from the early part of this episode where I said that if you have Russell's Reserve or Eagle Rare, Russell's Reserve is easier to find. It's less than Eagle Rare even retail should be for. And to me, Russell's Reserve is a better bourbon. And with all of that into consideration, I can't rate Eagle Rare above a 6.5, right? Like Eagle Rare is a really good bourbon. Don't get me wrong. If you see it for $37, buy it. You'll be happy. You'll love it. Pay $45 and you're going to be a little bit disappointed, I think. But when I think about what else you can get in that $37 price range, Eagle Rare is top 10. Maybe top 5, but with it being at that range, top 5, I can't go higher than 6.5. All right, well, look, thanks for joining us. I hope you had fun. We had fun. We're gonna try to get Dustin Diamond on the show, and I'm gonna try to get Steven Seagal to beat the shit out of Ryan Namath in his front yard of his mom's house, no less.
I went and got dinner by myself because the wife had moved away. So I went and got food, and I was bored. And I got nothing to do all day. I've been drinking. So I took an Uber to the movie theater, and I saw the Tom Hanks, Mr. Rogers movie. I probably cried 5 times, easily by myself in the corner.
It'd be like me squashing an ant.